Hardscape mentors the lesson. We in Buffalo mode, no time for second guessing. Built different, yeah, we follow one direction.
All right, shout out Little Rue for that intro song.
Yeah, how good is that?
Taking Hardscape Mentor to the next level of, being the hip educator in the industry. I think that's one of the reasons we started Hardscape Mentor, was to keep this trade cool and keep this trade alive, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of our secret sauce. And, if you look at our branding and stuff, I take a lot of pride in what we've done with the branding, the marketing, and just little things like that keep the industry cool is what I'm all about.
Yeah, when you're hanging out with Hardscape Mentor, you know that you're on the cutting edge, you're on the trending edge, you're hanging out with the guys who are taking things to the next level, doing their research to educate you. Like I said, keeping the trade alive and keeping it cool, that's what we're all about. So I think this is something that we never seen coming right here, sitting down and doing our first ever Hardscape Mentor podcast.
It's been a long time coming, honestly, and we're just excited to have another avenue to share value with hardscapers and DIYers and homeowners who are doing more research, and this is going to be it.
Yeah, so about going on 3.5 years ago, we started Hardscape Mentor, but Hardscape Mentor Studios is only about a year old. So about a year ago, we took on this building, brought in some awesome carpenters who build these log homes. We teamed up with Log Home Mart, created this awesome facade of, a front door, a garage door, a patio door where we can do these in-person training classes. We can also hold networking events. Some of you have maybe been lucky enough to come through and see our facility, hang out with us here, and just feel the energy and the vibe that this place brings on. And hiding over here in the corner was the podcast room, which you guys are going to see a lot more of.
Yeah. The Fantasy Factory for hardscaping also has the podcast room. So, this is kind of our first official meet up in here, and it's pretty cool. We've got some really cool plans with this. We have a lot of just people coming through here, and it's like we just wanted a space to sit people down and record quick, but then you and I are also going to be doing some content in here as well.
Yeah, I love it. We just walk in, flip on the on-air switch, all the lights are ready to go. When Herb from Unilock comes in through here, when Greg from SEK comes in through here, or even, contractors and designers like Craig Daniels, who we just had in the house, So it's constantly bringing people through here to network with us and help us create some training videos, or just check out the space when they're passing through Wisconsin. We're going to get them in this room, sit them down, and try and give a little back to the industry.
Yeah, so why don't we back up a little bit? So if people don't know the story of Hardscape Mentor, what it is that we do, why don't we start back, early 2022 and how this all started?
Yeah, I just always feel like we're on a rocket ship, because it's like we pushed play on this thing and it just took off. So I feel like we always knew we could create, high quality training videos, with your background and what you do, and with my background and what I do. We teamed up to create training videos. It was our first thing. We knew we were going to have the largest library on the internet of training videos, but this is just the community starting to pull us in all these different directions, and we're just going with the flow, right?
Yeah. We, like you said, we didn't see a lot of this coming, and it's been quite the ride, of course. But those early days, we just had all this library of footage, right, from Hometown Hardscapes and all these promotional and marketing videos that I was filming for your press and hardscape design, and we saw just this need to teach people, because we saw these questions on the YouTube channel and your Instagram, and people were just wondering, hey, how are you achieving this look? So that was kind of the whole spark of like, well, what if we repurpose some of this? That was kind of my side of it. I think we could package this up and do something with it and help contractors all over the country. And so that's kind of where that idea sparked. But then you were also bringing on, apprentices, but that kind of sparked it from your side too. Yeah,
right. I have been, I've been doing this I'm going on into year 26, and I've trained a lot of people in my life, as a project manager and a residential designer. My role has always been training, and I really got burnt out on it for a second in my career there, because I didn't know that these guys I was training were taking the information and using it. So I'm putting in all this time to give my resource or my education to someone. They might not even be a hardscaper the next day. So working with these young apprentices like Angel Roblero, getting on sites with guys like Ben Dotson and Chris Morales, and these guys just finding value in my experience, and then being so hungry that they're willing to work alongside anybody or learn from anybody to take their game to the next level. So now I'm training hardscapers along with your help, and we know we're taking to the next level, and hopefully we're setting them up to be hardscapers for life.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of the infancy of it. we launched with, I don't know how many videos we had, 20, and it was amazing, like what we did with the content we had. But then moving forward, every project you were on, we filmed it differently. We filmed it for a purpose to train people, and I think that's when it really started to take off. Is when these tutorials got more and more detailed. Just feedback from contractors and hardscapers that were watching it. We really fine-tuned it over the next year. And then the other big thing was we launched the app for Android and Apple, and that really took things to the next level and led to some things we didn't see coming.
Yes, I mean, we are helping business owners streamline their employee training.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as we wanted to just you as a owner operator to sit down and watch the video and stay tuned for the next month for another next video we're going to drop, now you're simply handing your app off to guys in the field who are watching. You said we started out with like 20. I think we're
close to 300 now.
Yeah.
It was 250, but I think we're 300-ish.
So close to 300, topics of interest and training on the app at their hands. Like, when they get to a problem on their job site, they search the term and they pull it up right there. So you don't have to be sitting down on your computer. You don't have to be in your break room with your guys. They can simply have it on their phone, on-demand access to keep them going through the job.
Yep.
So that's what we didn't see coming.
Yeah, the crew training part was just like, we kept hearing that over and over, like, oh, you guys are training your crew with it, or it's a rainy day, or it's middle of the winter. Guys are sitting down in the break room, in the conference room, they're watching the videos, they're taking notes, training new employees. I mean, that was just mind-blowing when I saw that happening.
There's not a lot of resources out there, or if there are resources out there for training, they're put on, by a manufacturer in a warehouse. And I feel like we pride ourselves in being a real life job site scenarios, real life situations to give this, to give this information back to them. And then I think it really just gets, your crew on the same page. Like we talk about systems and processes when it comes to the office and your lead generation and your finances, but there really are systems and processes when it comes to setting up your jobs and your hardscape projects. And when everyone is watching the same videos, doing the same thing, you're going to be more efficient and you're going to make more money. So streamlining your employees and also getting everyone on the same system when it comes to using things like grade stakes.
Right.
So
yeah. And so the product or the training was like the biggest priority, I would say. But then the community part is where this thing really took off. And I feel like that's almost just as valuable, sometimes even more valuable than the training videos we have. So we have our private Facebook group. So our elite members join our private Facebook group and they get to hang out with this awesome community, right? So let's talk about what all that entails as well.
It's just a room. It's always just a room and a community full of positivity. I guess that's what I love about it. And when guys come and join our Facebook group or they join us on the monthly masterminds, they can feel the energy in there. And it's because we all are just so hungry to take everything to the next level. And no matter what level we are on, we want to see the guy next to us succeed. Whether we've been in this industry for 20 years or 2 months, you're looking across the room in that monthly mastermind or across the screen, and you're inspired by that other person. So the positive community between the monthly masterminds and the Facebook group, and I know you've seen some other Facebook groups out there in the hardscape industry, but it's nothing like the Hardscape Mentor group. And the reason we call ourselves the Herd is because we are a group of like-minded individuals with the same goals in mind, traveling in the same direction. Just like a buffalo herd, and that direction is up. So when you hear us say, join the herd, one direction, that's simply a nod to the positive community that we've created.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are like, what's the buffalo? Well, your Preston Hardscape Design logo had the buffalo. And I was like, why don't we take that and modify it a little bit? And then we ran with that. And I wasn't sure about it at first because I was like, what does a buffalo have to do with hardscaping? Now it's like the coolest thing in the industry, right, yeah, in my mind. So
it's the swoosh in this industry now.
Yeah. We should get some custom shoes with the logo on there. But yeah, it's really been, and that's kind of like I said earlier. I loved the branding of it, and I always say, like, if Under Armour or Nike had a hardscaping company, I think this is what it would look like. And so that part of it's just cool. But again, it's just the value that we're bringing. I mean, we just did our 44th monthly mastermind a few days ago. Imagine how far ahead people are just being in that Zoom meeting every month, sitting in there, going to the Facebook group, asking questions. I mean, you're getting the experience from all these different people, and you're learning from their mistakes. You're contributing. I mean, it's a no-brainer to be in this group.
Can really speed up your career. I just look back at mine where, I'm a little bit old school. I get called out for that a lot, but that meant we used to cover up our work and not show people what we were doing.
Yeah.
That meant we didn't talk to other contractors in town. And it's like, all that is out the window because now we find so much value in teaming up. The coolest part about the herd is there's a couple guys in Atlanta, never would have met each other. They meet on a Zoom call. The next day they go out for coffee. The next day they collaborate on a project because neither one of them were big enough to take it on. Mm-hmm. We are becoming a conduit, just for these like-minded dudes across the country and ladies across the country, just to take their hardscaping game to the next level. And, this podcast is just going to continue to do that, continue to provide a resource, an education platform, add to the community. We're going to be bringing herd members in here along with our vendor sponsors. And so we're just going to introduce our community to the world and just continue to educate the industry like we've been doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, kind of speeds forward to this space, Hardscape Mentor Studios. Like you said earlier, we're hosting events here where we got build classes planned, and we just needed a space where we could, any time of the year, no matter the weather, we come in here, create content, create valuable stuff for our members, and that's where we're at now with Hardscape Mentor Studios.
Yeah, climate controlled atmosphere.
I'm getting spoiled because my filmmaking is just like everything's the same. I don't have to worry about the sun, the clouds, the rain. For me, it's awesome because, it's so controlled. So that's cool.
That was really the reason we built. That was really the main reason we built this building was to get everybody together and also have that climate controlled job site out there in the build box. So when SEK comes up here, we can introduce their new product with them, which is something we'll be getting into here with SEK in a couple of weeks when it comes to their Easy Set and their Resinscape product that they got coming out. So we can launch that product right here for them in Hardscape Mentor Studios, along with putting these podcasts together.
Yeah. Well, and it just makes me think 2 months ago, we did probably the most detailed low voltage lighting tutorial ever. And we did it over 3 days. How cold was it outside? -20. And we were just knocking this tutorial out like it was the middle of summer. And we needed the night scene, so we turned the lights off. Okay, well, here's how you aim the lights. It's like being able to do that is just such a game changer for our members to be able to access resources like this. Game over.
Which I feel like that. I love that you said that because it's like, the on-demand thing. So it's like we had a request from our community that we needed some more low voltage lighting training on there, right? We teamed up with Green Foundry, John and the contractor came over here, help us put this together. But I don't think the efficiency and the depth that we went to could have been pulled off in a homeowner's front yard.
Right.
I feel like we can we're in control out here. There's no variables. There's no dogs barking, neighbors coming by, rain delays, anything like that. So that's really what this building has done for us. So yes, brand new, it has to be one of the most in-depth lighting tutorials, on the internet. I keep saying that, but I know that it is. So just another resource. We heard it from our community. We needed low voltage lighting. We brought in the low voltage experts and we filmed out here for 3 days and we put together something awesome for our members to check out now on the website.
Yeah, super excited about that one. And again, we've got a list of things we're going to cover this summer. So new tutorials are always coming out. We're putting the archive of the monthly masterminds each month. So there's no shortage of new content coming out. And even with new hires, they got to go and watch the stuff maybe you've already seen. So that's what's really cool about this. It's just evolving. And as new products come through, we're going to implement that. Hey, there's porcelain's a hot thing now. Truss bedding with SEK Sherbon. People are starting to use that. So we're not just stagnant with it either. We're going to keep doing the trends and the hot things.
Yes. The industry is evolving every day. Mm-hmm. And some of these other education platforms can't keep up with that. I think we pride ourselves on if something comes out tomorrow, we're going to get that resource. We're going to team up with that vendor, that manufacturer. We're going to go right to the source. We're going to get the details on the right way to put that together. Along with our experience, your expertise, we're going to get that out there to them and just, keeping up with things because it's a fast pace. I could go off on the history of paving, but it's like we're in the infancy of hardscaping. Like in the 90s, the first driveway was installed in America. Like if you think about that, that's how fast this is moving along. We went from paver installers to outdoor living, design and build firms, in a matter of 30 years. So it's like you have to imagine that how is everybody keeping up with the right way to build things? When a new product comes out, what's the right way to install it? And I feel like Hardscape Mentor has become that resource in our industry. Is just by tomorrow, if a new product comes out, we're going to be on top of it, we're going to be building with it, and we're going to be getting it back to our community.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So I think you said it perfectly. And yeah, very excited about the future of this. And we just really wanted to get in here and kind of tell our story quick. And for people who don't know what we're all about, I mean, that's what Hardscape Mentor is. It wasn't something, I mean, we didn't see this being this big, I would say. I mean, and we just listened to our members for feedback, and we just ran with, hey, this is what they need right now. And we just keep listening to them, and that's the direction we're going of what they need, I feel.
Exactly. And when Luke says we didn't realize it would be this big, we're not just saying that ourselves. Like, we have the testimonies, we have the feedback from these business owners. When I go to Hardscape North America and I get, approached by 40 contractors running up to me saying they watch our videos every morning before they go out in the field, I mean, we know that we're onto something, and the sky is the limit with this. And we just, add a little rocket burner to it with this podcast now, man.
100%. A lot of cool things come out of this room. So thanks for watching, listening. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, it's the foundation. Hardscape Mentor mindset, the design is elite. We building smarter systems so the herd can eat. Got that buffalo mode vision, we don't know defeat. Level up!